Live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey's Researchers Report. Got a great show for you tonight. With me, as always, producer and co-host of the reports, the lovely Miss Daniela Agliolo. How are you, Daniela?
I'm good, thank you. Good to be here.
All right. And our special guest this evening, everybody's favorite Southern California Bigfoot researcher, Mr. Brown Dwarf. Welcome, Brown.
And actually, I'll take much love to everyone out there, and I'll take that. Southern California. I'm originally from Southern California, but my main base is Northern California now. And this is
okay, you're right.
So.
You're absolutely right, man. Northern Cal. That's right. I totally spaced that. That was my mistake. Well,
no,
okay.
From Southern Cali.
Well, before we get started, just want to remind everybody in the chat, please keep it clean for us. We do appreciate that. We got the best moderators on YouTube, and we don't want them timing anybody out. So if you got any questions, we'll try to fit those in throughout the interview. Just if you don't mind, if you have a question, post them all in caps for us. It makes them a lot easier for us to pick out. So all right, Brown Dwarf. I've been watching your videos for a while now. I'd say at least a year when I really got into it, maybe a little bit longer than that. And you come across some pretty interesting things, man. A lot of paranormal stuff, I would gather. But before we get into any of that, what prompted you to want to do this? To want to just research Bigfoot and just get out in the woods and look for this stuff, man?
Yeah, great question. It all started as a youth. I can't remember exactly what age, but I remember being very young and always into the mysterious and paranormal things going on in the world. And back in those days, there was shows like That's Incredible. Some people might remember that. Ripley's Believe It or Not. I think someone mentioned that in the last show. Just things like that always fascinated me, the bizarre and the weird. And I remember my mom telling me about Sasquatch. First time I heard that word Sasquatch, Bigfoot, was from my mom, and it was from the Patterson Gimlin film, of course. And at that time, I was in Southern California, and something struck me about that film. And after that, I was definitely into like ghosts and, messing around with Ouija boards and stuff like that. And I don't recommend that, but there's things that we did as a youth with other friends and stuff like that. And, you got the Bloody Mary and La Llorona and the Mexican folklore and just a lot of different things that would happen and things that were talked about, campfires and things like that, and that totally hooked me. And from then, it was always in the back of my mind, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I knew that Patterson Gimlin film was real to me, it really touched me. And here we are several decades later, and now I'm living in Northern California and not too far from the Patterson Gimlin film site. And come to find out, that's the border of Del Norte County and Humboldt County. I'm in Humboldt County now. And this county, man, I could tell you so many strange things that happen here. Something about these woods out here, something about this county that just brings so much mysticism, would be the word. A lot of weird things happen here, man.
Well, before we get into that, man, I don't know if you can see yourself, but you're like really close. We can't see your face really good. All right, there. That's much better. Now we can see you.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm not looking. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head right now and
understand.
And remember what brought me to this point. So forgive me.
Everybody's gonna want to see that face, man. So yeah, no doubt. So the name Brown Dwarf, where does this come from?
All right, so Brown Dwarf, I'm I'm not the tallest brother around.
Oh, is it that
And
simple? Is it that simple, really? Because you're brown and short?
No. But it goes. Honestly, I chose that name because a brown dwarf is also a celestial object.
A celestial object,
You
yeah.
look into so those stars, and we come from stars, and we're all here on a mission. And so I just something told me brown dwarf, you know, and a brown dwarf, if I'm not mistaken, you can fact check me on this. Is a star that's about to blow up, or you know.
That's right. I think you're exactly right. You're breaking up on us just a little bit every now and then whenever you move around. So I know I hate giving instructions, man. So you might want to just maybe if you can try not to move around too much. You're breaking up every now and then. That's all.
Yeah, and that's
I don't know, man.
I think
that's the service there.
Yeah, man. So hopefully it you know it's not too choppy.
No, it's just every now and then. I think whenever you're moving is when it gets bad. So,
and so I'm a free here for y'all.
I'm going to be like your third grade school teacher. Sit still. All right, so let's get into exactly. I mean, of course, you're not going to tell where you do all this research, but I mean, you do these videos. I watch you all the time as much as I can. You usually do them really late, and I'm in the bed because I'm an old person. But you find a lot of structures. I'm interested in the orb stuff. You see a lot of orbs out there, right? And do you attribute that to Sasquatch, or do you think that's something else?
No, I don't. But from what I've heard online and stuff, a lot of people try to relate the two, and so I've been putting one and two together. Here, I'm finding structures, and I know I'm in a Bigfoot hotspot, and we're on a piece of property where we're seeing orbs, and I've had activity there as well. So I'm like, okay, well, there might be something there. And as far as the orbs, I don't know what they are. I've seen many different color orbs, everything from blue to red, and sometimes they look like sprites, just like a bunch of little ones. I've seen them take off up into the sky. I've seen them fly through the woods and stuff like that. So I think that's a totally possibly different phenomenon going on there, and it might be related.
No doubt. Daniela, do you want to take over now?
Yeah. What about the structures that you're finding? What you're thinking the structures are about?
So when I got into this Bigfoot phenomenon, of course, my younger brother, shout out to him, Steve-O, put me on to a lot of guys that were online that were, Bigfooting and showing, structures and having different types of activity happen. And what do you know? I'm having the same activity and structures, column, or whatever happening in my areas. And so I just been going on my little quest, and a lot of the times it's weird because the structures, when I find them, I felt almost led there. Something in my head told me to go to this certain area or check out this area here, and I'm finding things.
Well,
And
tell me about the beach today then. What made you go back to the beach today?
something, a voice in my head. I had a little bit of time today to go and relax a little bit. Like I said, we're having a lot of issues. Life ain't always peachy, and things happen, and we got to take care of business in life. And but at the same time, you got to have a little break time for yourself. So I was taking my little break time, and something in my head told me, go check on that spot today. And sure enough, there was a teepee built.
There was a lot of wood there, and
Yeah,
I don't know where it came from. You know, like you say, where did all that wood come from?
exactly. And a lot of times, in some of these areas, there's a lot of driftwood, and Humboldt County is known for their wood, the redwood is especially. And we got a lot of different woods here. You know, of course, oaks, hard oaks, madrones, uh, all types of different brush, and I feel that and the Bigfoots and these others, I call them the others, have a connection with the woods and just nature. And there's something going on there, and I don't know exactly what's going on, and I don't feel like anyone knows what's going on. We're all coming together and sharing this information, and trying to put something together. And I believe what we're doing right now is a big thing because no one's doing anything like this. You know, a lot of people are private and keep things to themselves, and I respect that. And I think doing this online thing and sharing information with people in the UK or people down south in the States or people in up north in the US or Canada, you call it, and we're finding a lot of connections there. And I think that's big and important. So we got to take notes and share the information within one another, man, and try to figure what's going on here.
So you're saying that you get a feeling maybe, or you getting an instinct to go places maybe. What's your instincts on the structures then? Have you got any idea of the purpose or anything, your
Yeah, I feel
feelings about them?
I've heard people talk about it's almost similar to the what is it the UFO the crop circles,
All right, okay.
you know, something in that relation as well. You know, it's like maybe those structures are energy points. Maybe they're crossing ley lines or something. I don't know, but I think possibly that the wood could be resonating a certain energy, and the style of structure could resonate a certain type of energy as well. And so who knows, you know.
What about the feeling? Now we've been several places that I can say honestly feel different. You can, I mean, it's not everywhere that we went. Like we went to Nebraska, and certain places we went there, it didn't feel comfortable. It was like electrified. Do you get feelings like that in certain areas out there?
Definitely there's some creepy woods around, for sure. And I don't know if that's what the vibe you're explaining, but there's some places out here where you just get certain vibes that, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be around here. And yeah, I wonder about that. You know, is that is that them, or is that the others? And I do feel that these, besides the Bigfoots, I do believe in the little people, and I do believe that there's other beings out there for sure. Call them alien. They may be coming from the stars or out of space. Some are local here, and yeah.
Now we got a picture of one of your structures up here. What's your honest feeling on this? Because I looked at this really close, and some of those logs it's going to take 2 or 3 people to put on there, especially some of those like down there at the bottom. That stuff's, I mean, it looks, maybe some of it looks light, but you think somebody could have done that? I mean, are we sure?
It's possible. We have a lot of hippie, trippy people up in this area, and so who knows? Maybe they're grooving out in the beach and might be on something. Might have eaten some mushrooms, or who knows. And they're on a trip, right? And might be building these things, but at the same time, I've been finding similar structures like that one, and And that one I called the skeleton because it looked like almost like a backbone, a skeletal type
Right.
structure. And I've seen that up in southern Ontario where it's snowing and just other people documenting this similar things.
Now, this one looks like it's up in the redwoods. What's the story on this one here?
Yeah, so this one's in the redwoods, and it's a hut, and you can see there's a bunch of sticks kind of bowed over and leaned up, and
it doesn't
it
look like a
almost
really
seemed-
good shelter. It doesn't look like it would be a good shelter from like the rain or the wind or the weather. You know, it just seems
Right.
like if it was somebody, they would know better than to even try that.
Right. That would not protect you from all the elements. And there is people, traveling people through the area, campers and stuff like that. But I don't see them camping there, and I think it would be illegal to do that in that area because I think that's a state park there, and I feel like that could possibly be a blue line. I've seen in certain books, and a lot of well-known names that have been up here in Humboldt County. And I dived into their books and their information, and a lot of it ties back to the Sasquatch, and I'll say people. I do believe there are former people. There's the whole aper crowd. People believe that there's some sort of ape, and I do believe that they're possibly somehow maybe a hybrid between human and some sort of primate.
All right, we got a question from Shable. Can someone ask Brown Dwarf about the little people structures? What's up with that?
Yeah, so I found many structures that are massive, and a lot of structures that are very little. Sometimes there'll be little ground glyphs and stuff like that, and they'll be located in certain areas that I know no one's really walking around. Some are more blatant and in front of your face, roadside, and some of it's down on the beaches. Some of it's further up on the hills, above 2,000 feet. And yeah, we don't really have big mountains in this area. We do have what is it? Maybe one of the biggest nearest mountains might be Shasta, but around here is more hills. So we're about a little above 2,000 feet around here, and we do find a lot of structures up in those areas as well, and not to mention on private property. And these areas, it's very dangerous to trash.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up just a little bit.
Wow. I was mentioning private property, structures on private property, and
right.
You find.
It looks like you're still spinning around there a little bit. I think every time you move or you spin around, we lose a little bit more connection with you.
But this is what is happening.
Let's see. Ask Brown Dwarf about getting zapped by infrasound and his phone going out on live stream. That's from Cans Quatch.
Yeah, and that recently happened. And I'm not a big guy on getting zapped. I don't know if that's happened to me too many times that I could recall. Maybe I just forgot. But definitely recently I was in one of my areas, and that was actually where we showed that last little hut. And my phone just went crazy, and I was around structures and this weird labyrinth area. I find a lot of activity, and trying to show some stuff there, and it just totally went crazy. So I found that bizarre, and I talked to people about their experiences of being zapped and stuff like that, and so that might be a real thing.
Yeah, I don't recall myself ever being zapped. I've like I said, I've felt strange things. I don't know. I'm sure it's something that you would remember if you had gotten some kind of jolt of electricity or or I don't think that's infrasound. I don't think infrasound can do that to you. I think that has to be something else, some kind of electromagnetic energy, or if people are being zapped and getting sick, you know, even though uh, uh, I can't think right now. Even though infrasound will do that to you, it'll kind of make you nauseous, you know, if you get enough of it. But EMF will do it to you immediately, disorient you, and you can actually feel that energy off of it. So I think if it happened to you, it'd be something that you would probably remember more than likely. But a small dose can knock out your phone and drain your batteries, and that just you know, you hear that happen to so many people that are out. They're just, their batteries go from 100% down to nothing like really quick.
Yep, and that's a trip, man. And I've had battery issues before, or even like just weird pictures from game cams and stuff. And I know a lot of people are not into the game cam thing. They feel like they deter them and keep them away. That they do play with, and you'll have some strange anomalies with game cams. So I do recommend putting game cams out there. And at the same time, you might catch some cool wildlife, you know, some mountain lions or bears, which is also awesome. And who knows what else.
Yeah, no doubt. And you know, this is the thing about doing a live show and working without a net, is there's nothing you can do about internet connection sometimes. So I do apologize to those that are watching. I know that there's nothing that Brown can do about his internet connection. So we're doing the best we can with it. If there's something that I mean, I might need you to repeat. so far so good. I can hear you okay. I'm not sure how everybody else is hearing you, but I think it is definitely, every time you move, you get a little skip in there. So be still.
He's a fidgeter. So I've got, you sent me a print, a photo of a print. I'll put it up, shall I?
Yeah, let's see that.
Hang on. Here we go. So where was that?
So that was on, and that looks, to me, it looks like a handprint with some long nails.
It's a handprint.
I don't know. Yeah, and it's crazy because I don't know, the nails.
And that looks like hair too.
Yeah, what looks like
those
nails. That was left.
But I mean, you see those lines? Those lines definitely looks like hair. Has
some possible dermal ridges there, and that was left on our truck. And that night we have a yurt, and something broke into the yurt and raided the trash and raided the yurt, and we found that handprint on the truck, and we flipped out, and we definitely.
There's nothing really there for a reference. How big is that print? It looks big.
Man, it was bigger than my hand, I'll tell you that.
It does. It looks massive. It's just hard to tell without anything else beside it for a reference.
Right.
But you know, you have to wonder, why put one handprint? You know, what's the purpose of that? Do they know they're leaving a print, or just putting their hand on there? And I mean, that's questions you have to ask. What's the deal?
Definitely. A lot of times people just find one footprint, and I have found trackways, you know, where it's several footprints, and a lot of times it's like what people report in a straight, like they're walking a tightrope type deal, and but some of the footprints aren't always massive. You know, they're not the mega footprints. You know, a lot of times they're just human size as well. But, you know, I always look for the mid-tarsal break or any other anomalies that might be.
A really thin heel. Usually you'll, for the smaller ones, you find that really thin heel and a massive arch. And to me, that's evidence of the mid-tarsal break. But, you know, we've done that. We found 5. We went to Nebraska and we found 5 16-inch tracks. They had been rained in and leaves gotten into them, but you could tell they were not regular foot tracks, one in front of the other, but it was just 5 of them. It's like this thing had just came down the embankment, took 5 steps, and then either went back up or jumped or did whatever. But it's weird because they have to know. You think a sentient being has got to know that it's leaving tracks. So I wonder if they do that. Yeah, if they do that on purpose for us or what. It's just I don't know. Hard to say, I suppose.
I think so, man. I think they do that for the ones that are in the know, and yeah, I mean, thank goodness for something. Give me a track, give me a structure, give me.
What
No
else?
doubt.
What else are you finding then? Have you had an encounter? Or have you seen anything?
Yes, I've had 2 sightings.
All right. Okay.
In the county, and like I said, from where I'm at right now, the Patterson-Gimlin site is about 2 hours west. You have the town of Willow Creek, and then above there, the Hoopa Reservation, which is the biggest Native American reservation in California, and the #1 Bigfoot hotspot in California as well. And so my first sighting was actually west of there, where I'm at now. We have the Highway 101 here, and if you look into it, I think even the BFRO has several sightings from the area. And my first sighting was in the town of Trinidad, which is a fishing town, coastal, and the highway runs through the town. And I was doing I was conducting some business in town, and hopped on the highway. And when I hopped on the highway, and I talked about this on maybe 2 or 3 other channels, so I didn't really expose this sighting much, but I think the day after the sighting, actually, I told DDoS, I jumped on BDRP, and I shared my sighting, and I don't know if that's still up, but anyway, so I jump on the on-ramp of the highway, and I'm headed south, and it had rained a bit earlier that day. There was still a little bit of sunlight, but the sun was going down, and there was 3 or 4 other cars in front of me. And across the highway, I seen a large humanoid type being, and it must have been, I swear, 3-4 steps, and he was done with crossing the road. And so I was like, okay, the cars in front of me seen that, and I'm about to drive by and see who this was. And it was just a big silhouette. And when I drove by, there was no one there, and it just dropped down into the woods in that area where I seen him cross the road, and I found that fascinating. And right after that encounter, I went and got me a dash cam. I wasn't gonna let that happen to me again.
Yeah.
And that was the second sighting. The first sighting was on private property in the southern part of the county, which is also known for activity. And I was driving along summertime, road cross sighting once again. It didn't cross the road, it was just on the side of the road. And there was a bunch of woods, and I've shown these areas in my videos before. And I seen this being just flicker through. It almost looked like, I explained it before, like a one of those flip cartoons, when you just like flip it and you see the cartoon kind of happen. And it just went across the woods, and then I seen this head sticking out, and it was a dome type head, and it was sticking out of the trees and just looking at me. And I stopped my rig to look at it, and I was so shocked that I just continued going. I didn't know what to do, and I was just like, wow, okay, they're out here.
How big do you think it was? Go on, sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna go ahead. How big was it?
Yeah, I don't think it was that big, because it seemed crouched, and the head was pretty down low. So I don't know. It could have been on all fours or some sort of weird position, but it didn't seem too big, and it seemed, for some reason, something told me it was a male. And I don't have any proof to confirm that or anything. I just got this male energy from it, and that was exciting. And
So
I've had many more experiences.
do you think he wanted you to see him, or did you think he knew you saw it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because we looked at each other, and we stared at each other, and maybe who knows? Maybe I got zapped then. I just stopped the truck. I looked at it, and I just kept going. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, there's a certain level of disbelief involved in it, even when you're looking for them, I think. But all right, let's take just a minute, everybody. We're gonna pay a couple of bills, if you don't mind. Go over to that little X right there on the side of your chat. Hit that X. Go over there and hit that little thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. We certainly do appreciate it. While you're doing that, check out the links in the description for the Paranormal Gift Shop. Use promo code Bigfoot Odyssey 10 and you get an additional 10% off of any purchase in there. I know that they are revamping. They took a lot of their old stuff out. They used to have like thousands of items. I think they've just got a few things in there now, but they're getting new stuff to put back up. So check back periodically. They've got Bigfoot, ghosts, UFO, all the paranormal stuff, just novelty items and gift items, stickers, bumper stickers, t-shirts, hats, all that good stuff. And you'll see another link in there for my Patriot Supply. Use our special website, preparewithbigfoot.com, and the products that they have listed on there, I think it's 5 or 6. We get the 1 week emergency food kit, the 4 week emergency food kits, the fruit and veggie pack, all the good stuff. It's good, healthy stuff. 1,500 calorie a day meals for, I don't know, it's cheap. It's like $39 when you use our discount, like a regular $80, but you get 48% off of anything there if you use preparewithbigfoot.com. We certainly appreciate it. And tonight on the Paranormal Portal, I want to see everybody there. Brent and Don are going to have me on there as a guest. We'll be doing an interview. You guys will probably hear some stuff that you've never heard before. So I want to see every single one of y'all there. Somebody put a link up to the Paranormal Portal. Y'all go subscribe to them right now. Y'all join us there tonight. Oh, look at there. Look at that mug. That's going to be tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Central. Y'all come and support us. All right. We'll get back to the interview with Mr. Brown Dwarf. Now, what you got planned for the near future? Same stuff? You camping here soon or what?
Yeah, well, we recently were at the Bluff Creek site, and yeah, just squatching 24/7, brother. Luckily we got a nice piece where I feel like a lot of things have happened, and my first video actually was of that I posted on YouTube was of some vocals on this particular area, and that's where I met Bob in Bigfoot, Germany, and he was like, "Hey, you know what? You might want to get yourself a audio recorder because you might have some things going on there." And ever since then, I started gearing up with all types of gadgets. Everything from got a couple FLIRs. I got several game cams. You name it. What is it? The parabolic mics and all types of little GoPro cameras. All that
This stuff
stuff.
can get expensive, can it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been investing.
Absolutely.
Definitely been.
Now, I know Carl will ask, do you play musical instrument?
Yeah, I rock the turntables. I love collecting vinyl.
Right. You can't play that out in the woods.
You figured it out, huh? Yeah, so I love to DJ and produce music, all types of music, everything from hip-hop, reggae. I love collecting all types of different types of music as well, and love listening to everything. And I believe also another thing, I was having a little bite to eat down the road, and I seen this young lady, and she was a local native lady. Up here we have several tribes, like I said, the Hoopa tribe and different other tribes that have their Bigfoot experiences and just a lot of knowledge. And she had some stuff to tell me, and so we might be hooking up soon, and she might be taking me to some areas. And her uncle is actually, he's been on the scene. He's well known, and been on TV and stuff, and talking about the experiences and the activity in the areas here. Yeah, like I said, the Hoopa tribe. Look into them. David Politis actually lived up here for a couple years, and lived, if not in the reservation, but around the reservation, and did a lot of Bigfoot research here. And I could name a couple other big heads in the scene that have been up here and have had experiences. Michael Rugg out of Santa Cruz, California. He has the Bigfoot Museum. He had an experience up here on the Eel River, and man, everyone from Bobo, and I can go on and on, man. And yeah, I'm blessed to be in this zone, and glad to represent.
Well, cool. Yeah, Max Powers asked me if I was drinking cherry Coke, and I had to show him that it's Diet Dr Pepper. I'm allowed to have one a day, so I'm normally drinking water or some kind of water with something in it, usually, because I'm out here in the desert all the time. But someone had a question earlier, and I can't remember who it was.
Well, Max had a question. I can't find it again, but basically he's asking you what you think Bigfoot is.
That was it. That was Max Powers.
That's it.
Well, I mentioned earlier that I think they're a type of a possible hybrid, a human hybrid of some sort, not totally human, but very close to us. And yeah, I don't know the answer exactly. I don't think anyone knows.
No.
This is the Odyssey that we're on. We're all on the quest, and once again, we gotta connect with one another and share this information, whatever information it may be. We gotta stay connected and try to figure this out, because I think this phenomenon is almost like awakening us to what is going on with the humans. Because I feel like humanity, man, we're going through some things here. We have everything from AI technology going on right now to wars and just a lot of negative stuff. And I feel we have the power to change that, and possibly the Sasquatches are the ones to kind of wake us up. Maybe these other beings as well. But I also feel that there's negative beings out there. You get into Dogman or whatever, the Rake and all these other things. I don't really give that too much attention. I'm more focused on the Bigfoots and
yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, man. I feel a very positive energy from them here. A lot of people have negative experiences, and it could be a scary, frightening experience if you see one of these things. But at the same time, a lot of us know here that possibly they are trying to, maybe even help us. And people talk about that, about extraterrestrials as well. That maybe some of these other extraterrestrials from wherever they may be more benevolent. What's the word? Benevolent, I believe. Yeah.
But where do you draw the line? What can you say is good, and what can you say is wrong? Is evil? How do you make those decisions on if people are having Bigfoot encounters and people are also having dogman encounters? What's the difference?
Well, if you don't go 411, then I think you're good.
If you don't go for what? Sorry.
411. If you don't go missing 411.
Oh.
I think
but we have no proof of what's taking. What's happened to those people. We're just it's just suggestions, isn't it? And people then just repeat what someone else has said, and the next thing you know, we're all saying it's Bigfoot. When actually, I don't think it's Bigfoot. I don't think David Pilatus has said it's Bigfoot.
No.
It's just to imagine, isn't it?
A mixture of things. I do feel that, possibly it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Could well be.
So we got to keep our eyes out and our ears open. And I do recommend caution with everyone if you're out there doing this type of stuff, investigating. please take care, take the proper precautions, and yeah, it's real.
Yeah,
Go armed.
definitely.
I always go into the woods with both of my arms every time. God, that was terrible. I have a gun too, so normally we have Mid-South Sasquatch, Brown Dwarf. Who inspired you channel?
To start your YouTube channel, yeah, I know. What's up, Mark? Mid-South. Um, yeah, it was my brother. I think my younger brother. He definitely put me on to some people, and I'll go ahead and say, he put me on to actually everything that's out there. But there were certain people that were doing their thing that really got my attention, and things started lining up here for me. Just Colorado Bigfoot, Colorado forest beings, you name it.
We know Mark and Kelly.
What's that?
We know Mark and Kelly.
Yeah, man. And just people like that. And so I was like, all right, well, let me check my area and see what's going on. And what do you know? All types of things started popping up. Christopher Noel as well, man. A big shout out to him. And he's, his works match up with a lot of my stuff that I'm doing. And it's a trip.
Yeah, you can't beat the stuff that Christopher Noel has got. What he does, just some of the best personal interaction I've ever seen, like real time. He's interacting with the Sasquatch and he's filming it. It's incredible. I would tell anybody to go to Impossible Visits. But something that he's doing right now, and I did plan on mentioning this a little bit later. We are coming up on the end of the show, but Christopher Noel, he's putting together a march, and we're Bigfoot Odyssey is going to document it. It's a march on Washington about validating Sasquatch, and of course, it's a good year and a half away. It's planned to be for after the election and all that stuff calms down, but we're just in the beginning stages of it now, getting the word out, letting people know, anybody that is interested and wants to be a part of marching on Washington about the validation of Sasquatch. You can get in touch with me, get in touch with Christopher Noel. I'll put a link to Christopher's email in the description after the show. But it's an ambitious venture, but I'm with him. I feel like it's something that needs to be done. And if nothing else, if 200 people join us in this, it's still going to make the news. People are still going to be made aware that there are a certain number of people out there that take this seriously enough, because I think that's part of the problem is enough people don't take Sasquatch seriously. And in all honesty, I can imagine most people would think, even if Sasquatch is real in their mind, if Sasquatch is real, and I think people think this, what's validating it going to change really in their lives? So, we all have things to do in our lives. We're busy with our own thing, and if you're not really interested in it, I can imagine that no one's really going to care. I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of ridicule involved in that, but we have to set that aside. We can't let the strings of doubt hold us down anymore. We have to break free of that and just put it out there. If you've had an experience and you don't mind putting yourself out there and letting people know, it's very important that you do. It's more important than people realize that we tell our story and get it out there, so we can validate these creatures. All right, Captain Daz says, has Brown been to Bluff Creek film site, and how different does it look 50 years from 50 years ago?
So from what I've heard, and another shot. I want to give everyone a shout out. There's a crew of dudes that are from locally here called the Bluff Creek Project, and big shout out to Rowdy, because he showed me the site, and I believe these guys do have the site pinned down, and they've been doing a lot of works there. And from what I hear is that the site has changed a whole lot. And originally, before the Patterson Gimlin sighting, or that whole deal. There was a big flood a few years before that, and it was a massive flood here in Humboldt County. And I'll probably post a video later of how high the water level was during this flood. It wiped out towns. They needed a helicopter and supplies, and it was a big thing. And so they said that kind of changed the whole Bluff Creek area. And after that, that's when they had the sighting. And since then, a lot of stuff has grown over, and you got to pretty much know your way in or have a guide in there. And I do feel they're still in the area. When you're up there, you'll feel it. When you come to Humboldt, the Squatches are out here. Trust me.
Well, I'll be sure and only go whenever you're going with me. So one day we're gonna make it out there one day and do some filming with you for sure. We definitely want to get out there and do that. I think you've got some of the more interesting stuff out there. I think people need to see it. And if you haven't gone and subscribed to Brown Dwarf on YouTube, go do that right now. Andy Gone Fishing said, in California, do you think there are different subspecies of Bigfoot?
Yeah.
You think there are different?
I think possibly due to terrain, because California, it varies. You have Southern California, you got a lot of desert areas and a lot of reports down there. Everything, a lot of dogman stuff down there near the border as well, I've heard. But a lot of Bigfoot stuff in the deserts, and also the terrain. It's a big state, so as you head north, you got the Sierras. A lot of bizarre stuff going on in the Sierra Nevadas. You have, Yosemite National Park and Kings Canyon, a lot of national parks, and a lot of weird stuff going on. They're definitely up in that area as well. And then as you make your way up from the Sierras, you run into Shasta, and Shasta is just, you want to get into the paranormal. Shasta is the spot, everything from aliens and you name it, they're there. And then once you hit the coast, a lot of stuff going on there too,
All right, cool. Thank you for that question, Andy.
Sorry, they keep disappearing off the.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I quit touching it. I'll let you do your job. I know I used to mess you up a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if it is that. What do you think of those people that find Bigfoot? I can't find the question, but I think it's something like, what about the people that find Bigfoot in the woods and they get followed home, or they start having stuff going on at home? Do you think that happens? Do you think you've had any feelings of that?
The question was a little choppy, so I didn't.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Daniela.
I'm going to try and find the question. It was about, here we go.
What do you think of people finding Bigfoot later at home later?
I think it means Bigfoot following them home, basically. You hear about it, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. You do hear people encountering Sasquatch in the woods, and I've heard people 50 miles away, and then that night there's these things beating on their the side of their house. So, what do you think about that?
I think they're a lot closer than you think. I think even here I think we're very rural here. There's anywhere you go, there's mountains and beaches and stuff. But at the same time, there's some residential areas. But I consider some of these areas, and there's further spots where I go where it's real rural, and I do believe they are. There's been lots of reports up here where they are around residential areas, or California, like I mentioned earlier, Trinidad, where I had my sighting. I found structures on private properties there. I think, and I've heard of them, of course, doing their thing, banging on houses or peeping through windows and all that type of stuff. It's happening up here, and it's made the news locally here as well. And yeah, I want to tap into all that stuff and bring, news articles or anything that's hit the public. I want to expose that and share with everyone. And it's definitely happening there. And I talk to many locals around, and they tell you, their experiences and what's been going on. So I'm gonna be getting some of these people on, and hopefully they'll be sharing with us. A lot of people are
cool. Well, we'll take one more question before we bring it home. This one's from Treva Brown. What are your thoughts? Bigfoot cloaking or camouflage? Think they cloak? You think they go turn predator on you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe that as far as camouflage, you're good up here because there's so here that you could camouflage real easy. And as far as the cloaking, yeah, it might be something that they could do. I doubt it. You want to get into the woo-woo stuff. Them going into the tree, just weird, bizarre stuff like that. I would not doubt of what people are reporting from these woods, and it's a matter of just finding out for yourself. So I'm on my quest. I'm on my Bigfoot Odyssey to find out, man. And, I'm just chipping at it, doing my own thing, and bringing little nuggets that I have. Bring back.
Well, man, we certainly appreciate you coming on with us tonight, Brown. Again, we apologize for the connection there. I know you were having trouble just finding one. I know you had gone and had to get Wi-Fi from a hotel room just to come on, but we appreciate you coming on, man. I think everybody's going to be able to glean a little bit of something from what you've given us here tonight, and we appreciate you joining us, Brown, for sure. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us, ladies and gentlemen. This Saturday, who we got, Daniela?
Got Leighton Longwalker and his son Shortwalker coming on. He had an experience, an encounter when he was 11, so he's going to come and tell us all about it.
All right, come Saturday, 7:00 p.m. Central. Leighton Longwalker and his son Shortwalker. They're going to be on here telling their experiences. And don't forget the links in the description. Help support what we're doing here. Preparewithbigfoot.com. Get your 1 week food supply or 4 week food supply, emergency food. Don't wait for breaking news to prepare. And the Paranormal Gift Shop. Don't forget Bigfoot Odyssey 10. You get that 10% discount. And we want your stories. We want your encounters. Email us at yourbfstory@gmail.com. and tell us all about it. We'd love to narrate your story, or if you want to come on the show and tell it yourself, we'd be glad to have you on. But just email us right there. You see the email on the screen, yourbfstory@gmail.com. Don't forget tonight, our good friend Scott's going live every Wednesday. He goes live, I think at 8:00 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Central. It's a Explorer. That's Scott and Christy. I'll be sure and check that out. And tonight, 9:00 p.m. Central. I want to see everybody over there that can make it. Paranormal Portal. If you haven't subscribed to Paranormal Portal, go subscribe right now.
Yeah,
what was that, Brown?
I just want to say thank you, Kerry. Man, doing big works, brother. Keep it up. Then do your thing. And I thank you all for being and yeah, man, let's keep it tight and unite. See what's
Thanks for coming on.
What's gonna happen. And then
yeah, man. Thanks for coming on for sure. Maybe next time we can get a little better connection and we can do this. We can do this a little bit better. But I was just gonna say Paranormal Portal tonight. They have invited me on there for some strange, crazy reason. I don't know. But you guys come over there and support us. Thank you, Weird Desk US, for putting that up. Thank you, Five Hazel, Miss Diane Fowler. We have great moderators. Thank you all guys for everything. And we'll see y'all Saturday, 7:00 p.m. Central with Leighton Longwalker and his son with an encounter. Y'all have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.